planning to do videos today, so I decided it's like, why not take pictures of the crap that's on the refrigerator, because there's some stories to tell about this stuff that's on the refrigerator. And besides, it might be too windy to do videos outside. So anyway, it's like I'll start on this side. There's a Chicago uh, magnet, and I'm not sure. This may have been when I was in Chicago back in the early, may have gotten it in the early 90s, like around 93 or something like that. Because I took few trips to Chicago, which I really liked a lot. Very friendly people. That's Beware Skipper Dog. And then I made magnets out of a few things like these pictures. The pictures, this and like this picture originally came from we found a small box of slides that were given to us by our grandfather, Oscar House. And they'd been sitting there. The color and everything was really nice and everything. So what I did is I took them to a place to transfer them to digital, and then I made prints of them, and I also sent my cousin Laura a copy, also a second set of prints from these, and I believe the dates on them were like around 1958, 59, 1960, right in there that they were taken. This one right here is my dad. I believe that cat is my first cat, and whose name was Popsicle. And that's my dad, and he's wearing his Safeway badge, and my mother. And then over on this side over here, that's me on the left next to my brother Sam. And then that's my cousin Jimmy. You know, this was probably taken, he was born in 59, I believe, so it's probably taken in 1959 or 1960. And then that's my sister Nanny next to him. Um, and then this one is that's my on the back. That's my dad Jacob, Joanne Costanzo, and then that's my aunt and uncle. My aunt with the blonde hair, she looked like Marilyn Monroe. We used to make comments about that all the time. It's like with that blonde hair and everything. She's a very pretty woman. Joyce Cowie, that's her husband David Cowie. And then standing in front of her is my brother Sam, and then I'm in the red dress, and that was the famous red dress. We used to talk about that red dress. I have a number of pictures in that dress, and then next to me is my sister Nanny, and then like this is a cat, that magnet that I got at a Gardena festival thing, probably about 5 or 6 years ago. Here's Mark Twain, a couple of magnets about Mark Twain. You can read it for yourself. I love Mark Twain and his humor. Mark Twain. And let's see, I got those a few years ago, and this I got more recently. This is from a movie called They Live, and it's an interesting movie, very good movie. And then here's my parents, Jacob, and this was actually, I didn't know it. It's like I looked at the back of this, and it says June 2012. So this was special day assembly. Anyway, this was probably kind of sad in a way, because my dad passed away in August of that year. So, but he was still getting around pretty good. He was in a walker, but he was getting around pretty good up until he passed away. And then there's another one, and I think this was taken. They had a 50th anniversary party. A woman from their Kingdom Hall had it for them. So, and then we have some other pictures of that too. I just got these clips at Downtown Disney, and that magnet too, Alice in Wonderland. And then let's see, stove him, and it's to fix the stove, and which we still have original stove from like the 1956. And there's a Godzilla, that magnet. I'm a Godzilla fan. Of Godzilla magnet. I got probably about 5 or 6 years ago at some store, Japanese store. And then cat butt magnets. I think my friend Eileen got them for me. And then there's this thing I turned into a magnet too. I made it, sent it over, made it a magnet. Uncle Kenny and Pappy. Uncle Kenny, that's Uncle Kenny Fowler, who was living in Coldwater, Michigan, and this is and that's Pappy next to my grandfather. He's got a cigar in his hand, as usual, and he this was taken at Knott's Berry Farm at Ghost Town, and this was probably, if I had to guess, it was probably about 1958, somewhere in there, and when Uncle Kenny came to visit, and let's see, and then let's see, there's nothing really on that side to talk about, and then there's this side. There's some junk magnets. One day big butts will be in style. We can only hope. And a natural history magnet, and that natural history magnet, I think I got that at a trip to Natural History Museum probably about a dozen years ago. And a couple other weird magnets. And then let's see. And then I also made a magnet out of this. This originally, it's like one time I asked my Elisa if she had any pictures of our great grandparents, and it's like she did. These are my great grandparents. That's Henry and Rebecca Fowler. And then this young man right here is my great grandfather, Levi Fowler. And I actually asked, it's like because you wanted to know. It's like she sent me a JPEG of it. It was damaged. The original photo was damaged, and I actually had somebody Photoshop it and fix it. There was a big giant crease across it. And anyway, it came out fantastic, and I have 8x10s of it, and I also turned it into a magnet. This is like some of the ones I remember. It's like George, that's George Fowler, and then that's Martha, the little girl is Martha, and this is Charles Fowler, and not to be confused with the Charles Fowler that we might talk about once in a while, because Uncle Charles, who was my grandmother's favorite brother, favorite sibling, he was named after, I believe he was named after this Charles, and this Charles was like a really good, upstanding, responsible guy. He was married, but I don't think he had any kids, and I don't recall the other names of these. It's like I'll try and fill that in later. And then let's see, and then this is when I ran for state senate, and that was in 2010. One of my prouder moments. I ran for city controller of LA in 2009. Sort of got bit by the bug, so I threw my hand in for state senate, even though I didn't really have a shot at winning. It was like I have the giant magnet, this giant magnet that was on my car, and then I also have still have some yard signs, about half a dozen yard signs from that, along with the city controller. I also have some of those. So anyway, this is some of the interesting crap on the refrigerator.